KCOZ FM San Luis Obispo, rockin' and talking with Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
9:08, there's Aerosmith. It's Jeff and Jeremy here. It's KZOZ. We got Pat Benatar, Neil Giraldo tickets. They're going to be at Vino Robles a week from Sunday. You can win those at 9:40 if you know the show. Right now, we're very excited to have Paul Reiser on. He's going to be in town on September the 17th. He'll be playing down at the Fremont Theater, downtown San Luis Obispo. It says here you're calling from Malibu, so you're a California guy. You live on the West Coast, and this will be your first.
I am on the West Coast.
And this will be your first time performing in SLO.
This will be my first time performing in beautiful San Luis Obispo. I'm looking forward. I've been told that someone said the Fremont Theater is a beautiful theater and a beautiful ceiling, which is perfect because a lot of times in my show people fall asleep and they can look up and they can look at the ceiling. So either way, they're going to have a great night. That's what I figure.
It's a win-win situation when you go to the Paul Reiser show.
Exactly. It's a win-win. Well put.
As accomplished as you are on the screen, what has fueled this jump back into stand-up?
You know, it was always that was my first love, was doing stand-up. And when I was in college, I used to go down to audition nights in New York, and that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a stand-up, and then I kind of got sidetracked, and all these wonderful things fell into place, and movies and TV shows and stuff. And then when Mad About You, which was 20 years ago, or 30 years ago it started, I kind of got sidetracked and distracted, and so I had taken a long time off, but I always wanted to get back to it, and I missed it. I really just missed, now I don't even get to do it as much as I'd like to, but it's just, it's more fun than other stuff. It's like being on Stranger Things. Well, it's really cool that when you get to do it and it's seen all over the world, but actually going to do it, it's not that much fun. But stand up, there's people right in front of you, they're laughing, and you're actually making human contact. And so for me, getting up there and just talking about everything that happened to me and to have the audience laugh and go, oh man, that happened to us too, that's a great feeling.
Paul Reiser joins us. He's going to be at the Fremont on the 17th. You can get your tickets. Go to paulreiser.com. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, I hear your name, and the first thing I think of is Mad About You. And obviously, that was huge. That was a big part of your career. And since then, you talked about Stranger Things. I'm a fan of season 4. I see you, in the lab coat, and you kind of play a bad guy in that a little bit.
Well, you say bad guy. I don't know. What have I done that's bad? Think about it. He's actually been very helpful. He's been very helpful to the young 11.
Yeah, but you don't seem trustworthy. Your character doesn't seem trustworthy in the show. I mean, yeah, you're coming out.
I think that, but that's mostly in your brain. I hate to tell you. If you look at what I've done, what did I do? I didn't do anything bad, and yet we don't trust the guy in a lab coat. So, but the funny thing is,
we'll blame Fauci. We'll blame Fauci on that.
I totally trust Fauci, but he doesn't wear the lab coat. He just wears a suit, and he's from Brooklyn, so I trust him. But, the first question I asked the Duffer Brothers, who created Stranger Things, I said, am I a good guy or bad guy? And they were very cagey. It's like they didn't tell me, and I'm not sure they knew themselves. I think they wanted to be able to keep you guessing, which is apparently working, at least for you.
No. 100%.
For sure. Let's see. I mean, you've been in so many successful projects, the Kaminsky Method, The Boys on Netflix. You have a great relationship with the Netflix people.
With The Boys, I think we can safely say I was sort of a bad guy. But compared to the other bad guys on the show, I'm a good guy. So it's all relative. But, when they invited me to be on The Boys, and I had to be honest, I said, I don't even know what that is. I had never watched it. So I asked my son, who was 20 at the time, I said, what do you know about The Boys? He said, it's great, you'll hate it. So I watched it, I went, oh, you're right, it's great, and man, this is crazy. And it was once I understood what they were doing on The Boys, that was the design of the show, to be that graphic and that violent, and in a kind of darkly funny way. It was really cool. So that was great fun to be on that one, I got to be honest.
So what is the stand-up when people go to the Fremont on the 17th of September? Like, what are people in for? I mean, what can they expect?
So I've never been able to answer that question. The best I can do is this. You ever seen Cirque du Soleil? This is the opposite of that. It's whatever you see in Cirque du Soleil, there's none of that in my show. There's no jumping, leaping, there's no music. But people who know me from Mad About You, I said, if you like Mad About You, you're not going to come to my stand-up and show and go, I had no idea he was like this. Because Mad About You came out of my stand-up. So there's a lot of, I just talk about, everything that happens to me at home, but it turns out that's exactly what happens to a lot of other people. So we get to laugh about it together. But you know what I've been doing lately, which has been fun, is towards the end of the show we open it up and do a little Q&A with the audience. I never know what people are going to ask. So that's one of the scariest, but usually the most fun part of the show for me is getting to find out what's on people's minds and hopefully answer some questions. So we have fun. And I always promise you, I said, hey, if you come to my show and you don't have a great time, here's what my money back guarantee. I will come back next year and I'll take you to see somebody funnier. You can't beat that. That's a great offer.
Paul Reiser on the 17th. Now I'm looking at your schedule and I see you have a show on the 9th. And then it's
very spread out.
Yes. My point of bringing this up is, since you really haven't had a chance you've been through SLO before, but you really haven't a chance to stay, you come on Thursday and you go to our farmers market. It's the best in California. It's, how many blocks is it, Jeff? It's 10, 11 blocks long. It's really something else. I mean, there's live music.
I enjoy a nice farmers market. I like a nice farmers market. Yeah. I will make a point to get up there and walk through.
Yeah, it's right downtown.
My word.
It's right downtown. You can't miss it. It's like 10, 11 blocks. And if you get to town a day early, there's so many great things to see here. If you love wine, of course, it's everywhere. And it's a pretty neat little town. So we're excited to have you here, Paul.
My beautiful wife loves a farmer's market. We'll get up every Sunday morning early and go to the farmer's market here in L.A. But we'll go out. We'll be like we were in Santa Barbara a few weekends ago. We said, let's go to the farmer's market. And my first instinct is, I'm going to look at cucumbers and radishes. I've seen them before. And then you go, and it's great. And you get to actually meet a lot of interesting people and some great stuff. It's always more fun than it sounds like it's going to be. So I hear
Fingers crossed.
Message delivered. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed that you
to the show. You guys can. I will show up.
Yeah, we'll show up.
All right, fair enough.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that the Lord of the Cello is playing. And he's from Los Angeles. He makes the trip up here every once in a while. I don't know if you've ever had the privilege to see the Lord of the Cello.
I have not gotten to see the Lord of the Cello. No, is there a Lord of the Cello? I thought it was more of a free society of cellos, but there's a Lord.
Oh, it's something else. He wears a kilt. There's fans.
He breaks out a fan. He has his hair whipping in the wind. I mean, he's like if Fabio were to play the cello.
Wow.
Platforms.
You should have opened with that. Why, you tell me about cucumbers and radishes. I'll be there for the Lord of the Cello. You make no mistake about that.
Trust me, the cucumbers and radishes take a back seat at our farmers market. I mean, there's got to be 12 different street performers. It's pretty fun. But anyways.
I will look forward to the whole thing. But meanwhile, I expect the Lord of the Cello and you guys. I'll see you on the 17th of next month at the Fremont Theater. And, maybe it'll be radishes and cucumbers and cellos. You never know. That's the beautiful thing. You don't know.
All right. Thanks, Paul. We appreciate you spending a few minutes with us.
Thank you, guys.
All right. There goes.
All right. Thanks. See you there.
All right. Paul Reiser, Fremont Theater on the 17th. You can get your tickets. Go to paulreiser.com. That's paulreiser.com if you want to go see the show.